At the end of 2024, a strange silhouette sliced through the skies over Chengdu, China, catching observers completely off guard. A futuristic, nearly tailless jet appeared over the megacity, defying expectations. It wasn't a sci-fi vision, it was the public debut of what Western analysts soon dubbed the J-36, China's sixth-generation stealth fighter. Within hours, the news had traveled the globe. A massive three-engine flying-wing aircraft, previously shrouded in secrecy, had now been exposed for all to see. Symbolically revealed on Mao Zedong's birthday, the appearance sent shockwaves through global defense circles, signaling that the race for sixth-generation air superiority had truly begun. Behind that moment were years of secret development. As early as 2019, Chinese engineers began researching a sixth-gen fighter to meet Beijing's 2035 operational goals. In the years that followed, rumors and blurry images hinted at something radical taking shape in Chengdu Aircraft Corporation's hangars. By 2021, amateur spies spotted a tailless prototype at the manufacturer's facility, an intriguing sight that sparked speculation. Though nothing was officially confirmed at the time, the design team was hard at work refining an ambitious aircraft, testing wind tunnel models, and exploring technologies like artificial intelligence and low RCS materials. Slowly, the J-36 took shape behind closed doors until it finally lifted off in secret. It wasn't until December 26, 2024, that the veil dropped. Witnesses near Chengdu's airport looked up to see the ghostly jet cutting through the clouds, escorted by a twin-seat J-20 acting as a chase plane. Grainy photos revealed the aircraft's silhouette bearing the number 36 painted on its forward fuselage. It was official, the J-36 had arrived. The deliberate nature of the reveal, possibly timed with a national holiday, made it clear that China was not testing just one, but at least two advanced prototypes, the second reportedly from Shenyang. The strategic message was unmistakable. Beijing had entered the sixth-gen air dominance race with full force, ready to challenge any remaining Western edge. The J-36's visual design is striking even to the untrained eye. Its profile resembles a sleek flying wing. Some have even compared it poetically to a ginkgo leaf floating through the air. Unlike traditional fighters, there's no tail or vertical stabilizers. All stability and control are handled by the wing's shape and movable surfaces along its trailing edge. Up close, the J-36 features a diamond-shaped dual delta wing blending seamlessly into a wide, edge-free fuselage. This blended body configuration integrates wings and fuselage into one smooth form, minimizing radar reflections and maximizing lift. The nose-to-canopy line is flush and clean, eliminating sharp angles that could betray its presence to enemy sensors. There are no canards, fins, or external stabilizers. Every inch of the aircraft was engineered to reduce drag and radar signature. This architecture lays the foundation for broadband, all-aspect stealth, making the J-36 hard to detect from any angle. Beneath this sleek surface lies one of the J-36's most unusual features: 3 turbofan engines working in unison. 2 engines draw air through lateral intakes beneath the wings, while a third receives airflow through a discrete dorsal scoop on top of the fuselage, a rare intake configuration. The exhausts of the lower engines are wide and rectangular, similar to the 2D nozzles found on the US F-22 Raptor, which help deflect thrust and hide engine heat. The top engine's exhaust likely exits through a flattened duct integrated into the fuselage. This tri-engine setup suggests massive thrust capability, essential for propelling such a large fighter while maintaining supercruise, sustained supersonic flight without afterburners. Analysts estimate that new generation WS-15 engines planned for the J-36 will produce enough combined thrust to sustain Mach 1.5 in cruise, allowing the aircraft to break the sound barrier without giving away its position with bright afterburner plumes. The air intakes, with their smooth, diverterless shapes, feed the engines even at high speeds while preserving stealth. All that power supports a truly massive next-generation fighter aircraft. The dual-wheel nose gear and heavily reinforced main landing gear are more reminiscent of those seen on heavy bombers than agile fighters. This rugged undercarriage isn't just over-engineered, it's a clear signal of the J-36's immense weight class. Experts estimate a maximum takeoff weight between 45 and 54 tons, placing it well above the J-20 and J-35, China's existing 5th-generation jets. That heft doesn't come without purpose. The J-36's size, strength, and structure reflect its role as a high-endurance, multi-mission stealth platform built for long-range power projection. In sheer scale, the J-36 dwarfs many of its contemporaries. Its airframe, estimated to be between 20 and 26 meters long, with a wingspan approaching 20 meters, takes up as much ramp space as some strategic bombers. This puts it far beyond the category of traditional stealth fighters like the F-22 or F-35. But that scale delivers key advantages. Vast internal bays allow it to carry a broader and deeper variety of munitions, everything from long-range air-to-air missiles to precision-guided bombs and potentially anti-ship or land attack cruise missiles. All of this can be housed internally, preserving its low observable profile, even while fully loaded for combat. The additional volume also supports oversized integral fuel tanks, dramatically extending the aircraft's unrefueled range. That gives the J-36 a unique ability to operate across the vast distances of the Indo-Pacific without relying on aerial refueling. This endurance makes it ideal for deep strike, strategic interdiction, or surveillance roles in contested airspace far from Chinese shores. With sufficient onboard fuel, the J-36 could patrol or engage across thousands of kilometers, striking critical nodes and returning without external support, a major advantage in any high-threat scenario. Its broad, flat nose and voluminous fuselage suggest room for a high-powered AESA radar with wide-angle aperture, potentially using gallium nitride (GaN) modules for improved detection range and resistance to jamming. There may also be integrated infrared search and track (IRST) sensors embedded along the forward fuselage, allowing the jet to passively track enemy aircraft without emitting radar signals that would betray its position. Combined with likely internal suites for electronic warfare, signals intelligence, and data fusion, the J-36 is shaping up to be as much a flying sensor hub as a fighter. Altogether, the J-36 appears built not just to fight, but to dominate. Its combination of size, range, sensor reach, and firepower indicate that it's not just a stealth interceptor or a strike platform. It is an airborne arsenal ship, a stealth command node, and a next-gen force multiplier. It was engineered from the start to fly far, see first, strike hard, and vanish before the enemy even knows what hit them. Another unusual feature, the J-36 seats 2 crew members side by side. This bomber-style cockpit layout is extremely rare in modern fighters, which usually place pilots in tandem, one behind the other. Placing them shoulder to shoulder indicates a priority on coordination and shared situational awareness. Both crew members have full forward visibility and access to systems, easing communication and task management during complex missions. This design suggests the J-36 is more than an air superiority fighter. It's a battle management platform. While one pilot flies the aircraft, the other acts as weapons officer or mission commander, controlling drone swarms, managing electronic warfare, and coordinating strikes. This fits with China's emerging doctrine of systems warfare, where the manned fighter serves as the central node in a web of unmanned systems. China is heavily investing in loyal wingman drones, such as the FH-97A prototype, designed to accompany manned aircraft. The J-36 will likely serve as the brain commanding these robotic assets in coordinated operations. In terms of performance, the J-36 appears equally formidable. Leaked images and test videos show the prototype executing tight turns and high-G maneuvers against a blue sky. Despite lacking a tail, it appears surprisingly agile, a result of sophisticated aerodynamics and advanced flight control software. The J-36 uses unique flight surfaces. Split flaps and multiple movable sections along the wing's trailing edge operate in tandem to provide precise control across all axes. There are at least 11 control surfaces at the rear, acting as elevons, flaperons, and air brakes as needed. These mini flaps enhance pitch and roll control, compensating for the absence of conventional vertical stabilizers. The jet's digital brain actively adjusts each surface in milliseconds, maintaining stability or enabling aggressive maneuvers when needed. As a result, the aircraft achieves a degree of super maneuverability few tailless jets can match. More is likely to come. Chinese experts suggest the final version of the J-36 will almost certainly include thrust vectoring engines. Newer prototypes already show rectangular movable nozzles built for that purpose. By deflecting engine thrust, the J-36 will be able to perform Cobra maneuvers, tight loops, and extreme post-stall aerobatics, maintaining superiority in close-quarters air combat. The fact that China has rapidly tested a second prototype with major changes, repositioned intakes, redesigned landing gear, and new exhaust systems demonstrates impressive program agility. Within months, Chinese engineers iterated on the design to enhance stability and performance, a pace rarely seen in modern fighter programs. While the J-36's onboard electronics remain classified, educated guesses can be made based on available hints and evolutionary logic. Its large nose likely houses a wide-aperture AESA radar equipped with gallium nitride modules for powerful, jam-resistant scanning. Analysts also expect IR sensors mounted in subtle domes or windows. Photos show electro-optical lenses on each side of the nose. These IRST systems allow the J-36 to detect the heat signatures of stealthy aircraft and targets beyond visual range without using radar, which broadcasts the aircraft's presence. Along the fuselage, embedded antennas and absorptive coatings form a passive electronic warfare suite capable of picking up enemy emissions and geolocating threats silently. All this sensor data, radar, IRST, passive detection, perhaps even satellite feeds, will be fused by onboard AI computers to give the crew a real-time integrated battlefield picture. The two-seat cockpit likely features panoramic touch displays and augmented reality helmets showing targets and threats overlaid directly in the pilot's vision, similar to the F-35's system, but possibly even more advanced. More impressively, the J-36 is expected to act as a stealthy communication node, linking with other airborne and ground platforms through secure, low probability of intercept data links. It may even launch small drones or loitering munitions from its weapons bay, supervising them remotely. This is part of a broader strategy of network-centric warfare, with the J-36 operating as a mothership, delegating tasks to a collaborative swarm of flying robots. Its triple-engine configuration likely generates ample onboard power, supporting all these systems without performance loss and possibly paving the way for directed energy weapons like anti-missile lasers in the future. When it comes to firepower, the J-36 follows an all-internal philosophy. Its smooth shape hides large weapons bays that may rival bombers. Estimates suggest 1 or 2 main ventral bays capable of carrying up to 8 long-range air-to-air missiles or precision bombs, along with smaller side bays near the wing roots for short-range self-defense missiles. This means it can launch air dominance missions armed with a storm of PL-15 or PL-21 missiles, engaging enemy aircraft at extreme range. Alternatively, it can carry anti-ship missiles and stealthy air-to-ground cruise missiles for precision strikes against vessels and land targets. All of this happens with clean wings, preserving stealth until the final moment. Even the weapons bay doors are likely designed to open quickly and stealthily, minimizing exposure. Strategically, the J-36's arrival has major implications, especially in the Indo-Pacific theater. This heavyweight fighter embodies China's A2/AD, anti-access/area denial doctrine, extending Beijing's reach far beyond its shores. With an estimated unrefueled range over 2,000 kilometers, the J-36 could patrol remote regions like the Philippine Sea or Central Pacific, projecting air power into areas where China previously lacked persistent presence. Its combination of stealth, speed, and endurance allows it to hunt critical enemy assets deep in contested airspace. AWACS, coordinating defense networks, tankers fueling US jets, even recon aircraft, all become high-value targets. Armed with ultra-long-range air-to-air missiles, it could attempt to sever the aerial lifelines US carriers depend on to operate in Asia. Without refueling support, F-35s and Super Hornets would be forced to stay farther from contested zones, reducing their effectiveness. Carriers might have to retreat beyond the first island chain, their eyes and ears vulnerable to a stealthy interceptor that can shoot and return to base. In this role, the J-36 invites comparisons to anti-ship ballistic missiles like the DF-21D, but with the added flexibility of reusability. It could coordinate strikes with other platforms, guide hypersonic weapons, or serve as a high-speed data relay. Unsurprisingly, comparisons with the best Western fighters are inevitable. The J-36 emerged amidst rising rivalry, aiming squarely at the US F-35 and future NGAD next-generation air dominance programs. While the F-35 is today's operational gold standard, the J-36 aims to leap ahead, offering greater speed, range, and autonomy. For instance, the F-35 tops out at Mach 1.6 with afterburners and has a combat range of about 1,000 kilometers on internal fuel. The J-36 is aiming for supercruise above Mach 1.5 and far longer range thanks to its larger frame and fuel capacity. In coordination, the F-35 has strong data links, but the J-36's drone-commanding two-seater setup advances networked warfare. That said, US military leaders argue that superiority isn't just about thrust or airframe, it's about sensor fusion, AI, engine reliability, and stealth materials. In that regard, many believe the US still holds a qualitative edge. Some voices in Washington say that while China may copy Western designs, duplicating their performance is a much harder task. Still, the J-36's existence places enormous pressure on Western timelines. Australian officials speculate that Beijing may push to field a 6th-gen fighter operationally before the US NGAD debuts. China appears to be aiming for full integration of the J-36 by the decade's end, potentially forcing US and allied programs to accelerate. America's NGAD, sometimes informally dubbed the F-47, is being designed with similar goals: drone teaming, AI co-pilot, adaptive cycle engines, distributed sensors, but it was originally targeted for the mid-2030-50s. With the J-36 flying now, that timeline suddenly seems too generous. The countdown is on. Geopolitically, the J-36's debut may reshape balances and provoke ripple effects. For the Asia-Pacific, it's a psychological turning point. The first time a regional power appears to field a fighter, potentially outpacing the US, at least in some respects. Neighbors like India, Japan, South Korea, and Taiwan are no doubt closely monitoring every J-36 development. The jet's introduction could trigger regional arms races, with nations seeking stealth fighters, denser air defense networks, or asymmetric deterrence. For the US, maintaining local air superiority in a crisis just became harder, a cornerstone of deterrence now in question. Future exercises or patrols around Taiwan and the South China Sea may need to account for an invisible J-36 lurking beyond sensor range. Washington may respond by repositioning assets, strengthening alliances, perhaps sharing more F-35s, and doubling down on disruptive tech, not just NGAD, but also directed energy weapons, autonomous fighters, and new electronic warfare tools. In the long term, the J-36 marks more than a new jet. It heralds a new paradigm in global air warfare. Just as the F-117 ushered in stealth and the F-35 fused sensors and networks, the J-36 points to an age where AI, speed, and manned-unmanned teaming define aerial dominance. Seeing such a project emerge outside the traditional US-Europe Axis forces all powers to raise their game or fall behind. If China succeeds in fielding the J-36 in coming years, it will prove not only its ability to catch up, but also to lead in aerospace innovation. Challenges remain, from engine refinement to mass production and doctrinal training. But one thing is clear, the J-36 is here to shake assumptions and demand answers. Every air power is now recalibrating. The US races to ensure NGAD retains a quality edge. Allies review their 6th-gen plans, and those without such programs must weigh how to counter this new Chinese firepower. In conclusion, the Chengdu J-36 isn't just a stealth fighter, it's a catalyst for geopolitical shifts and aerial warfare transformation. If it fulfills its promise, it may redefine air superiority itself, rendering traditional strategies obsolete and ushering in a new era where speed, stealth, AI, and human-machine teamwork are the key metrics. Even skeptics agree, nothing will be the same. The muffled roar of its 3 engines and its spectral silhouette slicing through high altitudes signal a new chapter in combat aviation. The world must now watch and prepare for what this bold phantom of the skies will mean in the wars of the decades ahead. The 6th-gen race has started, and the J-36 has made it clear the finish line may be drawn in the skies of the East.